Did they accidentally kill her by mistake and get rid of the body? I don't know. Tell me what you know, please.
Let me tell you, Madeleine McCann is alive.
It is very interesting how a child can go missing and have so much publicity and
nobody
never be
knows
found.
nothing.
No, that makes no, like, they crack pretty like mad cases, don't they, around the world? How has this never been cracked?
Her new DNA, it's been confirmed, is British and Irish. Why don't they just get a DNA test? Why don't they just put this to bed? This girl's been arrested for stalking. Why, if they are fully convinced that that's not their daughter, do a DNA test. Do a DNA. I think it's her. I think it's her.
You saw this? 10 grand.
10 grand.
Done. Because free speech is dead in the UK.
He's basically imprisoned for telling the truth.
Theoretically, yes. And the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, have both said no.
Why?
Categorically no.
Why?
Hello and welcome. Are you alright? Are you alright? Fuck, I'll start. Hello and welcome to the Confessional Podcast. That's what we were supposed to say together.
I thought you was going to say welcome to the Confessional Podcast, not hello. And
I always say hello.
I started like, what? And you went, hello.
Well, I'm Rick and this is Kim and we're going to jump fucking straight in, so strap in because we got some interesting stuff to talk about. Kimmi, what are we talking about today?
Madeleine McCann.
Madeleine McCann.
World's greatest hide and seek champion.
Oh, that's terrible. What do I know about it? Because I haven't really dived into it, and then I know that you're like fully engrossed in this.
Oh yeah, this new stuff that's coming out. I'm like,
all right, hold on.
I'm in.
What do I know about it? She was a kid. Her mum and dad went for a drink. She was apparently in the bedroom asleep, and then she's disappeared forever.
Yeah.
And obviously it's never been answered.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally never been answered. My theory is she was abducted.
Okay.
Would you kill your own kid and hide it? Could you kill your own kid and hide it that well? Where there's been that much media and that much press and that much publication? Whatever word it's going to be.
We know what you mean.
And not get caught. I don't know if that's my opinion. Did they accidentally kill her by mistake and get rid of the body? I don't know. Tell me what you know, please.
Let me tell you, Madeleine McCann is alive.
Okay.
And she's been found.
Right.
Right, that's a big statement. That's allegedly.
That's a huge statement.
That's allegedly. Let me tell you.
She's saying allegedly now.
So, like I'm into my conspiracy theories and shit, yeah? This is not a conspiracy theory.
Like
this is
and ghosts.
This is 100% real, right? This actually happened.
Right.
So there's this, obviously, Madeleine McCann disappeared when she was 3 from Portugal.
Is that what she was?
Yep, so she was 3 in Portugal. Her parents went out for the night, came back and she was gone, basically.
Right.
£20 million has been spent on the investigation and they've found nothing.
By whom?
By the police.
Okay.
20, just like a round figure, 20 million has been on the investigation.
Million?
So, 20 million.
Okay.
So they haven't found anything, nothing. So there's this girl called Julia Wandel and she's 20 something and she, three or 4 years ago, she claimed that she was Madeleine McCann. She blew up on the internet. She had an Instagram account saying, I'm Madeleine McCann. And she was fully convinced that she is her. And she wanted DNA tests to be done to prove that she was her. She's got the little mark in her eye. She's got a similar face structure. If you look at pictures of her when she was a kid to Madeleine McCann, they look extremely similar, like so close that I wouldn't know the difference between them both.
Okay.
So apparently all those years ago, she got a DNA test and she's from Poland. It proved that her blood was 100% Polish generation. So she couldn't have been Madeleine McCann. So at that time, she got ridiculed, like people were so horrible to her that she just completely left the internet. But she still thought that she was Madeleine McCann. So she said that her parents, she didn't have photos, she didn't have certificates and stuff from when she was a kid. Yeah. She's got no memories of when she was younger, blah, 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 blah. And her parents refused to do a DNA test to prove that they were related. And Jerry and Kate McCann also refused to do a DNA test to prove that she's not related to them. So the only DNA test she did at that time was like a 24 DNA where you see your heritage. So anyway, she disappeared for a bit, but now she's come back. She's done more DNA tests. She said the person that did the DNA test before basically lied. Her new DNA, it's been confirmed, is British and Irish. And they also, this is the fucking weird shit, they matched her DNA to DNA found in the hotel room of where Madeleine went missing. There was a strand of hair on the floor, and there was a blanket that had saliva on in the same room. And it's her DNA matches to that 69% match. So there's a chance there's a high chance that DNA that was matched is a connection to Gerry McCann, and Gerry McCann is the father of that DNA. So it's just weird as shit that some random person from Poland can have some kind of connection to Gerry McCann. And the police are still not enforcing the DNA tests from the McCanns or her parents to confirm that she's their daughter or not their daughter. And I just find it bizarre. And I don't know why. I don't know why there's not more news about it. I don't understand. There's something fishy going on. She got arrested as well. So she got arrested at Bristol Airport last week for stalking and harassment charges. So she's like gone. She's arrested. She's being charged. I don't know exactly what the full charge was, but she's basically being charged. But this girl literally believes 100% that she's Madeleine McCann, and nobody's doing anything to do it. So her parents, this is what her parents said about her while she's doing it. They said that she's mentally unwell and it's a delusion, and everyone's feeding into the delusion. But I'm telling you, there's something in it. Julie.
Okay.
So there's Madeleine, there's Julia.
They look nothing alike.
Do you not think? Look at that.
I think they look nothing alike.
They've got the chin, her eyes. She's got the little, do you know how Madeleine had the eye thing? She's got the eye thing. We'll put a picture on screen so people can see, but you can make your own judgment. To me, I'm not very good with faces anyway, but to me, that's the same person.
No, honestly, I think they look nothing alike.
Really?
That's just my opinion.
Are you insane? It's the DNA thing, but the person's remained...
She looks very Polish.
She does look Polish.
She looks very Polish.
I swear, I think...
Thick girl, isn't she?
She is. But this is my thing, right? So if all
I don't think they look anything alike.
But, right, okay, so that's fair. If all of it's bollocks, why don't they just get a DNA test? Why don't they just put this to bed? This girl's been arrested for stalking. Why, if they are fully convinced that that's not their daughter, do a DNA test. Do a DNA.
But if you know it's not your daughter, you don't have to appease a DNA test.
How do they know, though? They've not been given any proof that she's not still out there.
Because maybe they know where she is.
Exactly. So it's either that's their daughter and they're scared, or they already know where Madeleine is.
I do wonder where the fuck Madeleine McCann is.
It's just insane. Just do a DNA.
It's one of those unanswered things, I think, of our lifetime, which will probably never be answered.
If I had a daughter that went missing at 3 and all of a sudden this lady came up and she's like, I'm your daughter, I would be holding on to that tiny little bit of hope that she's still alive, and that could possibly be her.
That could be soul destroying. If you hold on to that hope and then it turns out it's not her, you'd be like, fucking hell.
But you'd need to know. You'd need to know.
Yeah, unless
I don't know why you wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Unless they already know where she is.
Because there's lots of conspiracies, isn't it, that they accidentally killed her and stuff like that. So, but obviously the eye thing is a very unique thing, isn't it? I understand it's quite unique.
Yeah.
Not by fucking Polsky over here. It's not that, mate.
Did you see her eyeball? She's got it. She's got the thing.
It's not that thick, monkey. I'm sorry, it's not.
You don't think it is?
Mm-mm. She looks very Polish.
Why do her parents not do a DNA?
Maybe they don't want to.
Why? If I wanted to...
Maybe this woman, and again, I'm just talking from the other end because it makes more interesting conversation. Maybe they're just like, she is fucking, she's delusional, and we're just fucking fed up of it now. Like, we're done.
If someone's in a delusion that much and they're that mentally unwell, and the thing that you can do to get them out of that delusion is give them a DNA test. She's offered to pay for it as well. They've spent 20 million. It's cost 60 quid for a DNA. Just fucking do the DNA. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't get it.
Like, how you're saying it, I do get that. But Poland over here is not that, mate.
It's either she's Madeleine McCann or they know where she is. They're the two things that I take from that entire story. The McCanns either know where she is because they're adamant that it's not her and they're not even willing to do a DNA, or that is their daughter and they got rid of her and they don't want her back.
It is very interesting how a child can go missing and have so much publicity and
nobody
never be
knows
found.
nothing.
No, that makes no, like, they crack pretty like mad cases, don't they, around the world? How has this never been cracked?
Exactly. We know who bloody the Yorkshire Ripper was now.
But then, oh my goodness, you could go into, this is completely different type, nothing to do with Madeleine McCann. You could go on about the grooming gangs in the UK, couldn't you? Same concept. We know it's happened, but nobody's willing to look into it.
Yeah, it's just corrupt, and I don't like it, and I feel so sorry for that girl. Like, whether she is her or not, she fully believes. I've got no question.
She got a Polish accent.
Yes, but she's been in Poland since she was 3.
Yeah.
But she's fully convinced that she is Madeleine McCann. I don't think in any way that she's
very
a hoax.
horrible thought. I won't say because it's terrible. Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't think she's a hoax. I think she fully believes that she is Madeleine McCann. And yeah, it's the whole DNA. How did that DNA get? Did they get a match?
I don't understand that. I don't know the probability of DNA matches. Is 63% significant, like to the point where it should then be?
He's basically a father to that DNA. That's literally it.
I don't know
if they've got DNA that was in that apartment, whether it's her or not, whether it's anybody. If they've got DNA that matches in that apartment, investigate it. Like, you've got a new lead, investigate it.
Yeah, but like me and you, I'd imagine we'll have 0 DNA. Yeah. Is that true? Is that true?
You could possibly
or would we have 63% DNA?
Not 63, that's too high, but you can have
Check it. Google us that, or AI it, or whatever you want to do, chat GPT it. What's the DNA similarity between 2 strangers, percentage-wise? Because it might be like 59%. And if that's the case, that kind of eradicates your whole argument, and I'm sorry.
It's not.
That would defunct the whole video, though, wouldn't it?
It's not, because...
So apologies.
It won't defunct the whole video because they still haven't done the DNA.
Let's have a look.
It says 99.9%, but that can't be right. That means, like, it says 2 random strangers typically share around 99.9% of their DNA, meaning they are genetically very similar to the vast majority of the genome. That's not what I was asking. That's on average, you share around 50% of your DNA with your parents and your children, 25% of your grandparents and grandparents, and 12.5% of your first cousins, indicating how closely related you are to someone based on your DNA percentage.
Okay.
So, like, 2 random friends would be first cousin once removed with 6.25%.
Right.
So it'd be very, very low.
Yeah. No. Yeah, yes. So you're right. So
like, there has to be some kind of connection to get a percentage of DNA.
63 is obviously above normal.
Very high. Like, it says it's basically father DNA.
Okay. Maybe it's the long lost Polish sister.
Yeah, maybe it could be though. He could have like had a one night stand and mum gave birth to her, and that's why she's got a similar mark and she looks similar, but something's not right.
Maybe Kimmy's just solved the case of Madeleine McCann.
I just don't know why it's not talked about. It pisses me off. Like, I seen that and like, oh my God, why are people not talking about that? Or is it just a massive conspiracy and arm and off?
I think people aren't talking about that because they're probably talking about the grooming gangs and politics.
But we've been looking for this girl for 20 years.
Yeah, grooming gangs been happening for longer. Do you know much about the grooming gangs in the UK?
Fuck all about the grooming gangs.
Okay. So, obviously the grooming gangs were typically looked at in like Rotherham.
Yes.
Very northern areas. However, when
the chip shops and stuff.
Yeah, when people have looked into it, it turns out the grooming gangs are actually in like 50 different areas of the UK.
Okay. Oh, what was it called? It's called something, isn't it?
The Pakistani grooming gangs?
No. I can't remember what it's called. I learned about it. I'm pretty sure I learned about it in sociology, about cross states, and I don't know. I'm probably talking shit.
I don't know.
I think I need a drink.
Basically, loads of people have asked the governments and the London mayor to reopen the cases of the grooming gangs to have an inquiry, a public inquiry. So there's been inquiries into the grooming gangs, and then it's just been case closed. So people know about the grooming gangs, but it's just been case closed.
It's not been...
Regardless of what ethnicity they are, it's quite literally just case closed.
That's because there must be something there.
So there's something there. So there's been calls for public inquiries into the grooming gangs, and the government and the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, have both said no.
Why?
Categorically no.
Why?
They say no because they say we don't want to reopen the case and make the survivors of the grooming gangs suffer anymore.
Surely that's the decision of the survivors.
Correct. Also, that's surely not in the public's best interest because we want to know what the fuck's going on with these grooming gangs because it's
And there's
supposedly...
going to be more victims,
It's
right?
supposedly hundreds of thousands of young girls and survivors have come forward and said obviously what they've gone through, and the government and the Mayor of London won't reopen it. I would have then been listening to some podcasts of people who said that they've been involved in the inquiries and the things that they found, if they got out, would basically be so catastrophic that they believe it would basically cause a huge civil revolt in the UK, basically a race war.
Yeah.
So I get it would be a very sensitive subject, but if there's an issue there in some respect...
But you can't just ignore something for
But it's been
fear
ignored
of...
for 10, 20, 30 years. It's been ignored because people will be in people's back pockets and people will be involved somehow. And if it gets out that they're now in the eye of the public as a prominent figure, but they knew about or were involved in a period of time ago, yeah, it would
It's like watching
blow up.
It's like watching a bully in the school playground, isn't it? You don't want to get involved because you think then you're going to be the target to that. Is it that kind of thing?
I mean, basically, so somebody was like, Sadiq Khan definitely knows something, but he won't reopen it because he'll be a part of it somehow, and he'll have connections in it.
Yeah, it's fucked. What?
It's fucked.
What?
It's fucked. It's fucked. Why is there not a public inquiry into it? Why do the public not know about this, and what are they holding back from us? Why? Hundreds of thousands of young girls and women across the UK have been victims of this, and it's not in, and they're not opening a public inquiry. They said it will cost too much money. Nonsense.
Too much money.
I guarantee
What?
there'll be donors out there that would happily pay for it. 100%.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%.
If I had the funds, I assure you I would pay for it 100%.
We'll just set up a GoFundMe. We'd make millions.
Trust me, they've tried.
What?
They've
How
tried.
stupid.
This will stem into, so for example, Tommy Robinson is in prison right now because he has been trying to expose the grooming gangs for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
Very long time, and he's made loads of documentaries. They're all over X. Actually quite interesting if you watch them. And they've put him in prison to silence him so that he then can't. So anyone that goes
That's
to visit
insane,
Tommy
isn't it?
Robinson has to sign an NDA by law. Every single person that goes. Every single person that goes has to sign an NDA.
So he's got information and he's not allowed to speak it.
Correct, because
He's been in prison.
because free speech is dead in the UK.
So he's basically in prison for telling the truth.
Theoretically, yes.
What?
You need to look into this.
I'm going to have
you
a
need
look.
to look into
so
the
obviously I've heard of Tommy Robinson, but
so
all
Tommy
I know
Robinson
of him is he's
labelled
basically a
far-right
racist. Yeah.
Which is ludicrous because he's so far from racist, it's crazy. And
Yeah,
until I watched his documentary...
To be fair, you're not the only person to say that to me because my brother's told me about Tommy Robinson before and said, look into him. He's not actually racist. They just portray him to be.
Until I watched his documentaries, I just went off of the mainstream media. And in my opinion, this is when I was naive and I didn't look outside the mainstream media. And then I was made aware of his documentaries that he released, and he's released a few, and I watched them and I was like, it kind of got me thinking, and I was like, oh my God, well, that kind of makes sense. And then I now don't get my news from the mainstream media, i.e. BBC, Sky News.
You literally can't believe any of it, can you?
I don't get my news from them. I think it's all twisted and turned into spouting shit that will feed their narrative rather than what the actual truth is. And yeah, it's open. It's broadened my mind. And I'm not saying I want to be Tommy Robinson's best mate in any respect. I don't know the man, but I think what's happening to him is ludicrously unfair. But because he's been portrayed so badly in the mainstream media, anybody that says that they like him or they support him or want to be a part of him kind of gets fucking shut out so terribly, or they get shunned, or because...
And they get labelled with...
you basically, so if I was to go, I kind of agree with Tommy Robinson, I will now get branded as a far-right racist. When I'm categorically not a far-right racist. I just agree with what he's trying to do, and that's expose the grooming gangs in the UK, which isn't a bad thing.
I need to have a look, yeah. No, I need to check that out.
You must look into it, and I think we should do a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. Give us your opinions on Tommy Robinson and the grooming gangs for now.
And Madeleine McCann.
And Madeleine McCann. And,
what the fuck's going on?
Is that Polish girl, Madeleine McCann?
I'm telling you now, she is. I'm telling you.
Well, we'll find out.
I will literally put 10 grand on it that it's her.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'll take that bet.
I think it's her. I think it's her.
You saw this? 10 grand.
10 grand.
Done. You can pay for my fuel every time I come up here for the next couple of years. Fucking hell. All right, cool. We're going to end that because...
we need to do a confession.
Oh, fucking hell. We're not going to end. No, I apologise. Ignore me.
Hang on.
Jeez. Have you got one, yeah?
I've got a few.
A few? How exciting. Okay.
Oh, here's one. I hated my coworker so much that when HR investigated something completely unrelated, I took my shot. I didn't lie. I just implied that he might have been involved. A week later, he was gone. I felt no guilt. No guilt then, and honestly, I still don't now.
Well, that was a lie. You lied. No?
Yeah, that's a lie, isn't it?
That's a lie.
You implied that.
I implied that they were involved. So you lied that they were involved. So that's absolute nonsense. And
they've been...
Whether you should feel bad or not is up to you. That's your morals and your kind of feelings. But you did lie.
Yeah. Imagine.
Like...
What was the reason? Why did they do that? Because of what?
Work relationships.
I hated my co-workers so much. Why did you hate them though? That's
what I want to know.
Why did you hate them?
But I think work relationships can be very interesting. Like I often see like funny memes that go around going, isn't it interesting that your arch enemy and in the workplace is fucking Janet in HR age 54 and I'm 22. Like so I think work relationships can be very interesting dynamics, can't they?
I don't think I've ever had a problem with like that to that degree with someone in work. I've worked in a lot of places as well, and I don't think I've ever felt that way about anyone.
I've definitely disliked people. I just actively avoid them.
I don't really hate anyone, to be honest. I just like...
No, I don't. I'm done. I can't be asked.
I don't overthink it. Yeah.
It's a lot of effort to hate somebody. I think it's a lot of effort to hate somebody. But even if I did hate somebody, I don't think I'd go out my way to ruin their life.
No.
Like I could fucking dislike someone so much, but I'm pretty fucking heartless, but I would never want to take money from somebody that's probably providing for their family.
I think if you hate someone that much, you just remove them from your life completely.
That's
you just don't think about them. But I suppose when you're at work, you can't really do that, can you? You have to like just get stuck in.
That person could have been the sole provider for a whole family.
Yeah,
and then you just fucked it because you didn't lie, but you actually did lie. So...
Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't sit right.
They need sacking, don't they?
Well, yeah, like that's a huge HR issue there. And they say they implied that they could have been involved. Well, you imply what your implication was a lie.
Yeah.
So you have lied. So let's just get that straight.
What a tosser.
But on that note,
yeah.
I'm very excited for the next episode, by the way. So make sure you tune in next Friday because it's a very interesting conversation and topic that I'm very excited to get stuck into.
And I'm going to debate it with you massively.
I can't fucking wait. But you've been listening to myself, Rick, and the amazingly beautiful Kimmi K. We love you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe on all the social media platforms. Please, if you are not, please subscribe on YouTube. That would be amazing. It really does help the channel out and it costs you absolutely fuck all. So just do
nothing.
it.
Just nothing.
Don't be a dick and do it.
Yeah.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.